Hi, my name is Alexander Joseph Randolph, and this is my report for ASU University's Physics 122 online class. Enjoy!
There's a lot of physics that goes on in your day-to-day life that goes unnoticed by modern man. It can be the swinging of a wind chime, the friction on your floor, but in this case, it's a bouncing ball. It could be any force too, but this case is about collision, the banging of two objects together, and seeing what happens. It's necessary to address the other objects that impact these ping pong balls, namely what they're hitting, the ping pong paddle and the table. Collisions that are truly elastic must conserve momentum before, during, and after a collision. This is possible when impacting the paddle, as it's made of light wood and rubber, which is ideally elastic. The table, on the other hand, is not. It's made primarily of wood. While this isn't truly inelastic, it isn't ideal, meaning that there's two kinds of collisions happening in each ping pong match: elastic and inelastic collisions. In physics, there's two general kinds of collisions: elastic and inelastic, and it's very important to distinguish between the two. Elastic collisions are ones where two colliding objects conserve momentum throughout the collision and don't have the same final velocity. Inelastic collisions are the opposite. When the two objects collide inelastically, the overall momentum of an object isn't truly conserved. In short, elastic collisions have what can be described as bounce, and inelastic collisions stick and have a common final velocity. Elastic and inelastic collisions rely on two kinds of forces: momentum and impulse. Momentum is the product of mass and velocity, meaning its units are kilogram meters per second. Momentum can be thought of, in layman's terms, as a measurement of how much force, or acceleration, is built up in an object. And it's similar to the formula for force. Force equals mass times acceleration, which has similar units: kilogram meters per second squared. Impulse is the derivation of momentum, with units kilogram meter seconds per second squared, also known as Newton seconds, and can be thought of as the compression and subsequent expansion resulting from change in momentum. These two properties in physics are important to understanding elasticity, or lack thereof, in collisions. It's also important to discuss what causes discrepancies in the results of testing elasticity of collision. The imperfections in the testing environment that I can create. Another force that influenced the motion of the ball is friction, due to air resistance in my basement. In physics labs, we've ignored the effects of friction due to air resistance, but this is only possible in two scenarios. The first is theoretically on paper, like in a physics lab, and the second is in a very, very expensive, very real laboratory. My ping pong balls exist in neither scenario, but we can create ping pong balls that do. In conclusion, there's a lot of math that goes into everything you do. Even sports that have a simple concept, sports like ping pong, have a large amount of interaction with their somewhat isolated system. It should astound any observer at the beauty of nature, how it can work despite its overwhelming complexity. The impulse on the ball as it bounces around, and the momentum generated to keep it moving, influence just how elastically, or not, that the ping pong balls can collide. The only question we didn't answer is, did you beat your opponent? Thank you for watching. Hopefully you had as much fun as I did making it. I really did enjoy the chance to sort of make a movie about a physics lab. Although with 2 to 5 minutes, it was a little bit tough getting a whole lot of information into the lab, into the video, without having to chop some of it apart. but hopefully all of it came across in one piece. Have a happy end of your semester, and Merry Christmas.